What's up, what's up, what's up to all my frugalistas, my fashionistas, and my thriftinistas? It's your girl, Goddess Rami, and I'm about to show you how I took this pre-roll fabric that I got from Walmart and flipped it into this nice slouchy jacket and shorts. It's loungewear. It's the season to stay in the house, and I'm about to show you how I did it. We're starting off with the shorts, and I apologize for the bad angle. I was trying to figure out the best way to show you guys how to do this. What I did was fold the shorts in half, and I cut out one side, and once I cut out that one side, I gave myself about a ½ inch seam allowance. I then took the shorts and I just flipped them over. It's a little flip and boop, and then I'm going to cut out the rest of them, and I'm going to show you in a little while how I'm going to sew that. I then took the remaining fabric and I created a waistband, and I wanted a bit of a tall waistband to accentuate the curves as such. And we're gonna do a quadruple band or triple band. You'll see what I mean in just a second. So the first thing I'm gonna start working on is that waistband. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to make about 4 long stitches to create 3 channels for elastic to go through. So you see here, I'm just sewing a straight line from one side to the other, and I'm going to do that about 4 times actually, until I get 3 channels. I'm going to take a 1/4 inch elastic, and I'm just going to channel that through all of the channels that I just created. So I'm making about 3 or 4 strips to match the length, and I'm going to cut off about 2 inches of that once I do get that length that I want, because I want it to cinch a little bit around the waist area. So I'm taking a safety pin and I am just channeling through those channels, and this took a bit of time, but just jig like you see me doing here, have a good time with it, and get that elastic through there. Now, once I get the elastic through, I'm going to pull it all the way through and give myself about another inch, and I'm going to pin that down so that I can sew over those. I need to sew over those to keep them in place. So as you see here, I'm pulling the elastic out a little bit just to give myself enough room to sew them down. And once I sew them down, I'm going to bring those 2 ends together, and I'm going to create a full circle. So you'll see me here sewing that down, moving the pin, and I'm sewing that down, and then moving the pin, and then I'm sewing that down. That leaves my elastic secure. That way I know it's not going to pop when I try to put these on, because I am a little bit dicky. And I'm going to cut those off, and like I said, I'm going to create a full circle band and sew those 2 together. Now it's a full circle. That's great. So now we're going to go and move on to the part where we make the shorts. And I'm going to do with that is sew down the crotch area, which is from the top to the point of the crotch. And we're not going to sew any further until the next step. I'm going to just do that with a zigzag stitch. I'm so sorry. I just lost all of my words. And I'm going to make sure that that is secure. This fabric was a little bit difficult to work with, but I love this part of making pants and shorts because look at this magic. Once you flip it, you got a full pair of shorts. I just love doing that. That's my favorite part of making bottoms. So I'm just going to make sure that the seams are aligned that we just created, and I'm going to pin them together. This fabric just rolled all over the place, and I don't like working with fabric like this, but I love the way that it looks when the product is finished. So I just thugged it out, y'all, and I just, kept going, kept pinning, and, just worked with it. And I'm going to sew now in that new crotch area. Once I get that done, I'm going to take that waistband that we made and I'm going to tuck it upside down. Okay, so the raw edges are facing the raw edges of the shorts, and the folded edge is facing the bottom, because once we sew that together, you're going to be able to flip it and it's going to have a professional look, a seamless look, and we will be on our way to finishing the bottoms. So here I'm just using a zigzag stitch about a 1/4 inch in, and I am going to show you how that turns out. And we have a nice looking waistband on a nice looking pair of shorts. And then I'm going to fold the bottom around the leg holes, and we're moving on to the jacket. Obviously that was the last part. So What I'm doing with this jacket is I am just folding it in on itself and stuffing the sleeves on the inside so that we can create the pattern of the front and the back without the sleeves and the hood being in the way. This was honestly a complicated process to make this jacket. I had never really hydrated. Look at him in there. I had never really made a jacket before, I don't believe, but I wanted it to look like this so that I can get to the front, the pattern of the front. And I'm just going to cut around that, again giving myself about 1/2 inch seam allowance just to be safe. This jacket is a little bit smaller than I need it to be, so I wanted to give myself a little space. I'm cutting around that hood area, and then I'm going to do the same for the back. The same exact thing. Flip it in on itself, turn it around, and make sure that I have the back. There's a lot of videos out here that show you how to pattern your clothes, how to make patterns from your clothes that you already have. And it's really just about flipping it, turning it, and flipping it inside out and making sure that, you follow along. So for the hood, I'm just taking the top edge of that jacket and I just really came up with a pattern. I just cut what I thought a hood should look like. A lot of times I do that, but we're gonna move on to making the sleeve, and I'm just copying that sleeve and the way that it is at the top of that sleeve, and I'm making sure that it's exactly like the front. It's exactly meeting those seams is what I'm trying to say. You can see me going back and forth from the jacket and to cutting and back to the jacket to make sure that it is the same exact pattern that this jacket gave me in the first place. So then I'm going to cut those sleeves out and I'm going to make another copy of it because I need to. And I'm going to actually make a cuff as well that matches the length of said sleeve. And moving forward, and that cuff I think was 8 inches by 4 inches because when you fold it over you get a 2-inch cuff. So we're moving back to the jacket, and we're going to lay out the back piece and lay the right sides together with the front piece in this fabric. I struggle so much making this outfit. It should be very simple actually, but when fabric rolls, it makes it that much more difficult. So I'm glad I gave myself extra seam allowance to deal with this problem because I was so tired of unrolling this fabric. Then we went ahead and tack those shoulder pieces together, and we're going to move on to the hood as well, and we're going to make a straight stitch, not a straight stitch, but a zigzag stitch right down the front, and when we turn it inside out we have a seamless hood, and we're going to attach the hood to the top of the jacket on the outside right sides together because we want that seam to be on the inside like that. And I apologize for this, but I'm just sewing down the bottom part of that sleeve, the open raw edge, and then I'm taking that cuff after I sewed that together. And this tutorial I feel like is all over the place, but I really hope that you can understand what I'm doing from seeing what I'm doing. I'm just trying to give you an idea by speaking, but it's all over the place. I am just attaching that cuff to the bottom opening of that sleeve, right sides together, raw edges down. And like I said, difficult fabric, but we are not giving up on this, okay? We are moving forward and we're going to do what we got to do. I pinned that down and I sewed it together, and once you get it pinned, it should look like this, and once you get it sewed, it should look like this. And once you flip it out, you'll see seamlessness, greatness. That looks so, I love when my seams look good like this. So once we get done with that, we're going to take our jacket that we sewed together and we're going to stuff those sleeves right sides together. The jacket is inside out, the sleeves are right side out, and we're going to stuff them on the inside of that jacket, and we're going to pin it down because we always want our seams to be on the inside. We're going to pin it down and we're going to sew around that. Then we're going to take the excess, because I did have excess left over from my sleeves, and we're just going to cut it off. Just gonna get it out the way. So don't worry if your sleeve doesn't fit in there perfectly. Just sew it down and cut off the excess and you have a good sleeve. Next, we're going to move on to the waistband that goes at the bottom of the jacket. And all I did was take a 4-inch by however wide my jacket was, folded in half, and tacked it down in the same way that I tacked down the hood and the cuff, with the raw edges down and the folded edges up, right sides together. And I believe that the next thing we're going to do is get into putting the zipper in this. Now, I'm just going to let you watch what's going on with this zipper because I did struggle quite a bit with it. Oh, I think I'm actually putting in elastic at the bottom of the waistband for this part. I am so sorry. Yeah, I'm putting in the elastic. I decided to put elastic in my waistband to make it cinch a little bit more. And I made it about 4 inches smaller than my waist measurement, just so it'll, be snatched, honey. Snatch, snatch, snatch. And I did the same thing that I did with the waistband as far as pulling it through. Now we're getting to the zipper. I could not record this properly because I struggled. You will need a zipper foot, and you will need to go and find another tutorial to show you how to put the zipper on. Honey, listen, Maya Monteo here on YouTube will show you how to do a zipper properly. DIY Blueprint will show you how to do a zipper properly. Me, I could not. I struggled. It took me about an hour and a half. I'm not gonna lie to you about anything. If I don't really know how to do it properly, I'm not gonna try to teach you how to do it until I learn how to do it properly. So I got that zipper on there in the end, and it works properly, and that's great. But I just could not record it the right way to try to explain how I got the zipper on here. So please go find Maya Montayo here on YouTube, and she will show you how to install a zipper the correct way. And when I figure out how to do it the right way, I promise you I will bring you a video that shows you how to do it the right way, because Goddess was not doing it the right way at all. At all. Okay? But nevertheless, we got it attached. Okay, we got that zipper on there and we just moved on, and that is the end of my tutorial here, and this is what it looks like in the end. It's comfortable, it's slouchy, it's loving, it's nice, and I appreciate you guys for coming through and hanging out with me, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Bye. Love you.